thank you for coming back. Now, let's consider the following topic. What must we keep in mind when considering working with people from other cultures? It's an interesting question. One of the things we need to consider is mentality is evolved all over the world in different reasons, for different reasons. One is the environment, as we see here. One, therefore, you get different behavior traits, and therefore you get different skills and different values. That's usually how it works. The peculiarities about different cultures is that their working styles differ. One of the ways is how they deal with time. Deal with time is very different. Here, in this part of the world, we stick to the time rules. Times are very important. People are very process-oriented. In other parts of the world, time is relative. Time is something that evolves. The structure is never as important as the content. That's one of the major, major differences. And I understand that some people think you have the watches and we have the time. That's a really strong consideration. Two, what we see is that stories can be told. I'll give an example. One story about what happened to me internationally, there's a big thing that you need to keep in mind. There's something called buyers and sellers cultures. You can read up on that later on. And I was in the Middle East, and to be quite specific, I was in Dubai, which is a funny, hot place. And so I was telling them, listen guys, we were doing a negotiation skills seminar, it was lots and lots of fun. And I said to these guys, well, it's obvious that there's a clear rule in the world. You know, you cannot sell your best friend your car. I mean, you guys will agree, right? You cannot sell a good friend a car, right? That's how we roll. Because, you know, if it breaks down, you're in trouble and all that kind of fun stuff. And you need to give them a really, really good price because, you know, they're a good friend of yours, so you can't sell your best friend your car. So I was in Dubai, everybody was Lebanese, and they said, this one guy raised his hand and said, Chris, sorry, I humbly disagree, but we do sell our best friends our cars. I said, really? But what do you do in the relationship? And he looked at me and said, well, Chris, of course, because a good friend is the only person in the world that will forgive you when the car breaks down. And I said, what? But you can't get a good price. He said, of course I'll give good price. I'll make a great deal this time. Next time I sell him a computer, he makes a great deal. Everybody wins. It's a completely different way of thinking. The way we do it here, it's good friends you don't want to make a good deal with. In Austria, you never talk about money because it's not something we do. Nobody knows each other's salaries. We're really weird about money. So we see it's a different thing. Yeah? Third thing, what are the most important implications? One, it's never good, it's never bad, it's just different. And if you start accepting people the way they are, and start accepting the different working styles, how they deal with hierarchy, how they deal with structure, how they deal with communication, with meetings, with calls, how they set priorities. If you start understanding that, then you have a very, very different way of working. It doesn't mean you have to love everybody, but you need to know how they work. Why? Because number two, people want to do what they want to do and they want to be successful. And we need to start understanding that. A lot of people become very conceited about thinking that other people's working styles are not making them successful. They're making them extremely successful just in the place where they are at. It just might not work in Helsinki, but it really, really works in northern Sudan. And last but not least, consider your own styles. Start looking at your own patterns. A lot of people want to learn about intercultural management without considering what their own patterns are. Because I need to first understand how I deal with time. I need to understand how I deal with structure, with communication and other things. Because looking at others and looking at the differences means you're just actually making a border instead of breaking borders down. I hope that was helpful. A little bit of an intro. Hope to see you in the seminar. Thank you so much.